Hopefully you've done a lot of thinking about what is the correct company for the next chapter of your career, and now you are starting at this new company. Congratulations. I want to talk now about onboarding. How do you make sure that you succeed as the new engineer in the company? The first thing that's worth calling out is that I want you to view the onboarding period as a magical power that you now have. So I don't know if you've played Mario Kart before, but if you play Mario Kart, you have this star that you can absorb or eat. And then that gives you invincibility powers, where once you have that star, nothing can hurt you. That is effectively you as the noob on the team. So you are this new person. When you're brand new, you have this magical star, which allows you to ask any number of questions and people will not get upset with you. It's expected, it's totally normal for you to interrupt people, have one-on-ones with them, figure out what they're doing, and you can just ask for help in a more aggressive way compared to maybe if you've been at the company for a year, it might not be as appropriate. And the reason I say that you should act with urgency, you should view this as a really sacred time, the first 1 month or 3 months or 6 months of the company, is because the power of that Mario star that you just ate is going to degrade over time. And the willingness of people to help you or pair program or do all these one-off things is going to be harder and harder over time. So as you're ramping up, talking to people, asking for resources, getting help, a really core part of showing that you're properly ramping up is you need to bias toward action. You need to get things done. So a very common failure mode is that people come in and they are really relaxed, lackadaisical about the onboarding, where, okay, I'm going to spend a bunch of time reading the documentation, reading the code, and there's no tangible output. And so I really would encourage you, figure out how you can create an artifact of your work. Oftentimes the most obvious artifact for a software engineer is going to be code. Did you manufacture, did you produce code, a pull request that people can then review? It also, the benefit of code is that it also forces a level of interaction because usually people are going to have to review your code. Another common artifact could be documentation, like put together a wiki, improve the onboarding guide. Have something that you are putting out into the world, hands on keyboard, that people could give you feedback on. That is a really powerful indicator that you're ramping up appropriately if you are creating something as quickly as possible. The other big thing about the onboarding is that it's a time for you to build up relationships. You're going to be obviously interacting with your manager, tech lead, other people on the team. Because you have this Mario Golden Star to be able to request help and interact with them, I want you to view all of these interactions as your goal is to have a really deep relationship where people come away from the interaction saying, wow, that new person on the team is really friendly, really easy to work with. I want to spend more time with them. You want to be very likable. And that means figuring out what they care about, trying to help if you can, even in the early days, buy them a coffee, do whatever you can to create that relationship built on trust that will then serve you for however long you are at the company. I did a really poor job of this actually when I joined Pinterest. So I came in through this acqui-hire scenario and I was transitioning from a machine learning role at the startup, and then I made a decision that at Pinterest I would do more mobile development. I wanted to do Android. And it was a combination of that along with just frankly being kind of lazy. I didn't really engage as much as I should have with the team or with the new tech stack in Android. And the result was pretty awful. I got rejected for the promotion from L3 to L4, not once, but twice. And it was really disheartening. And I attribute a lot of my slow progression and my failure to just not having that proper sense of urgency when it comes to onboarding. So don't be like me. Make sure you come in, build up a ton of relationships, ask a lot of questions, and bias toward action when you're new.